Bitch, I bet I could. Bitch, I bet I would. On the low, what's up with you, ho? Bitch, you smoking dro. Bet you know, bust like 44 when I spit that flow, cause we go hard. Like that shit they hustle on the boulevard. Fuck your broad. Bitch, I bet I could. Bitch, I bet I would.
Hey guys, what is up? So, Dragon Ball Super Broly came out about a week ago, and of course the new Dragon Ball Heroes episode also came out with Cumber chatting out. So people were, debating who would win between Cumber and Broly. So we're gonna be going over mostly like movie Broly, but also Broly from the game, so it isn't like a stomp. And of course, we're gonna be using Dragon Ball Heroes Cumber from basically all the three sources from the manga, the anime, and the games. With me today, I have the boy once again, MJTV. Say what's up, boy?
What's up, boy? Thank you for having me back on the channel, man.
Do you want to start us off with what we're going to be going into first?
Yeah, so with Dragon Ball Super Broly, I was able to go see that in LA at the North American premiere. All we know with Broly is that, much like, I guess, with Kale and Caulifla, but to a greater extent, he can adapt while he fights. We see him get digged down from base Vegeta all the way up until God Vegeta. He adapts to God Vegeta, powers up and rages out, and pushes Goku and Vegeta to Super Saiyan Blue, then pushes them to fuse into Gogeta. So yeah, right off the bat, Broly had a pretty huge power amp, probably one of the bigger ones in Super, in a short, a short amount of time. Even Caulifla and Kale didn't grow as quickly as he did in battle, so keep that in mind. But nonetheless, the battle ends with Gogeta defeating Broly, and Broly is stated to have probably surpassed Beerus. Again, that is in the dub. We're not too sure what the sub says. I would assume something similar to that because there's always been hints of characters possibly surpassing Beerus, and the series never straight up states it directly, except maybe Jiren, but they only refer to Gods of Destruction. They don't refer to Beerus as a single entity. So with that being said, Broly is definitely pushing that God of Destruction tier, which ain't too far off scaling wise, because following the main continuity, that's where we kind of left off in the Tournament of Power, with characters being in the God Destruction tier and then surpassing it towards the very end of the actual Tournament of Power. So Broly being in that upper echelon of power in the main continuity does make sense consistent wise, but that's basically where Broly ends off, brother, because after that the movie ends and there really isn't much else about his power other than the fact that he adapts, like I said, and the fact that they compare him to Beerus.
Yeah, this is really weird because, like, before the movie was gonna come out, they said, oh, he's like the most powerful guy ever. He's gonna be like the, strongest guy that Goku and Vegeta has ever faced before. But clearly that was really not accurate, and I even like hinted this when I made like the Broly video, that it might change very well, because one of the producers, I believe, said that Goku was just now being like God of Destruction level. So that's kind of weird from what was implied in the anime, because I think it was like a magazine or a guide that Beerus believed that MUI Goku, if not even UI Goku in Third Trigger, was possibly more powerful than him, and then Goku got way more powerful after that.
Right.
So in Dragon Ball Heroes, there are three sources or continuities, but for one, Cumber in the games was actually stated by Goku and Vegeta to be more powerful than Jiren and Beerus, while restrained too, so he had like handcuffs on, right? They're already telling you here that base Cumber is already this powerful. Cumber is able to hold his own against Super Saiyan Blue Vegito, Super Saiyan 4 Vegito, and a bunch of crazy shit like that. So he is clearly really damn powerful. But however, the scaling is a bit different in the manga and the anime, one of those kind of being where Xeno Goku is at. But I'm not gonna get into the whole game scaling because you guys probably already know, but Demigra in Xenoverse 1 was gonna wipe out basically the infinite multiverse. Base Goku, post BOG, was actually able to stop this attack, and then obviously you have Super Saiyan God, you have Universe 6 arc in Xenoverse, and then Goku Black arc, blah blah blah. And Xeno Goku was stated to be at least comparable to Capsule Corp Goku, who is, of course, I guess you could say Super Goku, but from the game. So he isn't the exact same Super Goku. So, and within the games, it was actually stated that Xeno Goku became a lot more powerful than from the Dark Demon Realm arc, where they actually fought against Broly, which we're gonna get into later on. But the Xeno Goku is a lot more powerful, and even then he was like, wow, Super Saiyan Blue Goku is a step ahead of me, And in the anime, it is the other way around, because Goku is more than likely way more powerful than him.
Yeah, in both versions, anime and manga, it is reiterated to us that this is a Goku from the post-Tournament of Power. So I guess it's like super continuity with like a different spin on it, right? Because it ain't exactly the main continuity, if that's what you want to call it. So
yeah, like I also think they know about Cooler and stuff like that and other movie villains or whatever that aren't in the main timeline. So it's kind of like Super and the movies into one, you could say.
It's like the same events, I guess, took place, but Capsule Corp logo Goku does tangle with Xenogoku or Xenogoku in the anime as well. Even though it's the similar premise and plotline, there's a lot of different events that unfold between the manga and the anime version of the Prison Planet arc. And in the anime version, they somewhat stalemate, but it is implied that Xenogoku is stronger than Blue Goku, at least going off of what we see in the later episodes, which again is different from the manga, so take that with what you will with the different sets of scaling, because then there's the video game scaling as well. But nonetheless, they somewhat still seem relative to each other unless Xenogoku was just suppressing himself that much, which again is kind of hinted at later in the episodes. Goku and Xenogoku are pretty much nothing to what we see later in the anime, because much like in the manga, Cumber does power up. He goes through different stages. First, he breaks out of the cuffs. We then see a Super Saiyan version of him. Then we then see the Golden Oozaru version of him. And we also see that Xenogoku and Capsule Corp Goku both have to fuse with their respective counterparts to even combat Cumber in these different stages of power.
Still couldn't beat him.
They still couldn't beat him. Base Cumber alone was already like a monster, like in both versions. So take that with what you will. And again, like I just said, they fuse in the anime as well, and we see the characters of Super Saiyan Blue Vegito and Super Saiyan 4 Xeno Vegito, and even then Cumber still makes it to the end to where he battles MUI Goku. But this Cumber is weaker, I guess, because he has been drained and he's been fighting like all day and stuff, so take that for what you will. But nonetheless, he does lose to MUI Goku, and this is in episode 6 of Heroes, which is recently dropped.
One key difference is that Super Saiyan Blue Vegito was really nerfed in the anime because he barely put up a fight against Base Cumber. But then in the manga, with Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken, he pushed him to use Golden Oozaru, and Super Saiyan 4 Vegito also pushed Cumber to use Super Saiyan 3, which also happened in the manga and also in the anime. But the thing is, in the anime, Cumber lost to Vegito, but in the game, he was actually able to defeat him, and in the manga, MUI Goku stepped up, so Super Saiyan 4 Xeno Vegito was even like, wow, this guy's really powerful, he should be able to hold his own against him at least. So MUI Goku fought Super Saiyan 3 Cumber in the game, and he won. But then in the anime, yes, Base Cumber was, knocked out by MUI Goku. So it is really possible that Cumber and Super Saiyan 3 or Golden Oozaru, after all these Zenkais, would definitely be more powerful than MUI Goku in the anime at least.
Which does hint at something you've been talking about recently on Twitter, that MUI off of lore seems to be above the different forms of fusion that we see in the series. But I mean, again, that's kind of just hinted at. They don't straight up exactly state it, but this also was kind of teased in the Tournament of Power with the different fusions being under the Omen triggers.
So it is very possible that, they're trying to imply that MUI has a larger multiplier than Potara fusion, which is really possible going by what they're showing here. And obviously we know that Potara is much higher than Metamoran fusion, going by the consistency of the sources that we have. So you might be thinking, Broly has no chance, but here's the thing, if we go into the games, there are a lot of things that can help out Broly.
So Chuck was telling me, you know what, before we start recording this, let's try and help Broly out here so he doesn't get shit stomped. So if you want to take Super Broly and throw him into this realm, I guess you could factor in the fact that he can adapt like relatively quickly to whoever he's fighting. Obviously there was such a huge power gap between him and Gogeta, he couldn't accomplish that, but nonetheless he still performed a huge feat by getting as strong as he did, going from weaker than base Vegeta to Blue Goku in like what, I guess like 10, 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah,
which is
probably like no time at all.
No time at all, which shits on Gohan's power up in a day. So yeah, there you go. So in the Mecha Buddha arc, you have the Dark Star Dragon being a huge focus with them searching for the Dark Star Dragon Balls, and there's this thing called the Dark Star Dragon Ball Amp. Geekdom and Chuck have done videos on this in the past covering the lore, but nonetheless, Broly is amped up like a motherfucker in this arc because he goes up against Super Saiyan 4 Xeno Goku, who's incredibly powerful, and Super Mirror, who matches him, and we've seen how strong Mirror is in both Xenoverse and in Heroes, especially in the later versions when he absorbs Toa's power and gets higher forms on top of his already incredible power. And Broly was able to go up against them, and basically in a WWE triple threat like match.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. They were able to go at each other's throats and everything. So if you want to take that amp and throw it on Super Broly, who we know can adapt like crazy, you possibly could wank a W out of him, or at least have him hold up against Cumber, because like we said in this video and reiterated many times, Cumber in just his base form is already stronger than Gods of Destruction, going off of what we've been told, plus and possibly Jiren as well, and that's just base Cumber. And then of course he has the many different forms and stages of power that we see later on. So yeah.
Yeah, so MJ broke it down pretty well. I would also like to add on that people will say MUI Goku beat Cumber in the anime, so he's weaker than Jiren, even though Goku got shit on several times in that whole like anime series. He got knocked out like several times, right? Yeah, Cumber is just like ridiculously overpowered. So if we want to take it like a serious fight, Cumber is going all out from the beginning. He would definitely decimate Broly. But if we're gonna go with like a Dark Star Amp Broly and they're fighting for a while, then Cumber would have the advantage at first, and then Broly would pretty much overwhelm him if the fight goes on for a while, because even though Cumber has shown that he can, increase in power, it doesn't seem to be on the same rate of increase as much as it is for Broly. I mean, as you said, Broly went from being base Vegeta level to being Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta level, give or take. So in a couple of minutes, maybe a couple hours, but if Cumber's serious, he'll win. If the fight goes on for a while, then I believe Broly could definitely take the win. But what do you think would happen?
I pretty much agree with you. If Cumber goes all out from the beginning, I feel like he could take the W pretty easily, but we have seen him get into those stages where he's like, fight me, like where he wants somebody to battle him. So depending on how he treats Broly, and if this is Dark Star and Broly going up against him, you could wank a W from Broly to the point to where maybe he adapts to Cumber and the different forms that Cumber shows off if Cumber doesn't take him too seriously, because there have been instances where Cumber has shown interest in the character's power, or at least in the character's form. So much like how he freaked out when he saw SSG Goku in reference to God Ki and the God power, if he sees Broly's hair turn green, he may get interested by that. So again, that's kind of wanking it to Broly's favor, but pretty sure on a consistent level Cumber would win this. But if you want to use Dark Star Amp on Super's version of Broly, then perhaps you could say Broly could win it in the end.
Yeah, so that is pretty much it. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you guys have a happy holiday. Thanks to MJ being here. Go check out his channel. I will put it down in the description below. I'll catch you thotties next time. Peace out.